Good morning. Meteorologist Lisa Green here with a look at a very active week that we have ahead of us this week. We've got several systems moving through. A couple of first alert weather days for today and again for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the big day, but we didn't want to overlook today because there are going to be some impacts. We're still even feeling some impacts from last night's round of snow, and there's still some areas where we have some fog and some light snow out there even as we speak today. So feeling some impacts from the weather right now. But I do want to talk about our first alert weather days to come, and it includes today, of course, but the reason we raised one for today was because of the potential for more snow coming our way as the day goes on. So we have two today, tomorrow for snow, wintry mix possible. Both days it's possible, but more likely tomorrow we would see that mix or even some ice. For today it's more light accumulating snow, a couple of inches in spots and some wind. And then tomorrow it's going to we're going to pump things up a little bit as far as the intensity, and we're going to see a chance for more snow, potential that some of that snow switches over to rain or freezing rain or a mix, which could get messy and slick on our roads. And then some very strong winds too for parts of the region that we're going to be tracking for you. And of course, that leads to some travel issues coming up here in the forecast. So we'll continue to work our way through what's going on now and then the next couple of days and even look beyond throughout this update. If you've got some questions you'd like to ask, you could head right to our Facebook page where we have this Facebook Live going right now and ask your questions, and I'll look for them and try to answer them for you at the end of this update. So here's a look at how we're going to break things down on this wintry week. So for today, again, snow showers. We are looking at accumulation enough to, cause some issues on the roads, and it's going to be breezy too. So that means we've got some blowing snow, some drifting snow potential. And then again, tomorrow is kind of the big day where we're watching for, several inches in some areas, and that mix over to ice, which can be dangerous here. So that possibility is there. And then I don't want to overlook the end of the week as well. We don't currently have it first alerted. We wanted to focus in on these next couple of days, but Thursday, Friday, still some uncertainty with these days as well, but we're watching out for some light snow, a little bit of wind with the next system. So if you're traveling those days, you'll want to check back with us as the week goes on. So several days here this week where we're watching out for this kind of weather. So here's a look on our live camera right now. I'm going to pull this up full screen so that you can see this a little bit better. You can see visibility isn't perfect. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not perfect here as we're looking off toward downtown Fargo. You can see the buildings on NDSU's campus, and then beyond we should be able to see more of the buildings downtown. And we can see them, but they are obscured more in a haze at the moment. And we do have some fog. We do have a little bit of snow out there too that is impacting conditions here this morning. And we are looking at weather that is impacting our travel too. So a look at our road conditions right now. You can see that we've got some areas where we've got blue and pink on the map, which would indicate that we have some snow on the road or patchy ice on the road in those locations where that's occurring. So it's more on the North Dakota side, but it is also, there are some stretches of highway on the Minnesota side of the Red River too. I'm going to pull up our website here and show you where you can access the latest road conditions. So this is our main homepage when you open it up, and there's several options up here to check on things. You could check the sky cams, radar of course, if there's closings and delays when there's active weather going on. But we're going to take a look at road conditions, and it's right here. So you can see that North Dakota, if we want to see their road conditions, just click right on it and it opens up North Dakota page and get some interactive views here. And this is a little more detailed. North Dakota uses a different color scheme than Minnesota, so we've kind of combined the two to make it simpler for a presentation on air, but you can get into more detail once you go through our website. And you can see the purple here indicating that it's actually snow covered or scattered snow on a lot of our roadways. Looks like there might be a little bit of ice down in Dickey County as well in the yellow there. So again, just one of the tools that you can use by accessing our website and checking on those road conditions. Okay, so it's not perfect out there today. We're certainly seeing some areas where it's slick, and it's also reduced visibility too. Checking out our visibility reports, you can see that we are at 2 miles or less in a couple of spots. Devil's Lake, under 2 miles. Fergus Falls, visibility is 2 miles, and we're at 2.5 in Fargo. So, if we're dealing with fog, temperatures are below freezing, so that could deposit on surfaces, make for some slick spots, and then if it's just some flakes out there. It's just reducing our visibility at this time. So again, on this first alert weather day, we're already tracking some issues going on even before this next round of snow starts. And speaking of, here's a look at the latest radar. You can see two main clusters. Our models show this kind of filling in over time as it moves through eastern North Dakota. And I am seeing a little more substantial snow up to the northwest, and then again over toward the James River Valley. We'll zoom in a little bit more here, and we'll pause our loop. We'll go all the way to now. You can see over by Rolla, over by Rock Lake, moving into Candu, Devil's Lake area, Rugby. You're going to see your snow chances ramp up, if not already seeing some flakes. And then, there's a wide area where we're not seeing a lot, but this could fill in. And then moving southward toward the James River Valley, just crossing over Highway 281 toward Edgeley and Ellendale and Jamestown. You might see a few more flakes move in here shortly. So this is it. This is the system that is, this wave that is making its way through, bringing us that chance for some snow for today. So again, not a lot, but it is there, and it's going to come for some of us toward when kids are getting home from school, or you're driving home from work, or need to head out and run some errands. So I want to give you that heads up that this is potentially going to impact you. And so right now you can see that we've got some of those gray skies. Temperatures are going to improve, and they have been a little bit this morning. We're at 11 degrees in Fargo and in Grand Forks. You can see snow reported in Fargo, Grand Forks, Fergus Falls, and Bemidji right now. So a lot of places experiencing a little bit of light snow. Wind chills are still below zero. And wind is out of the south into the teens and even some 20s. Fargo, a gust to 23 miles per hour. So you get a gust above 20, that's when we start, watching out for reduced visibility when snow is falling. And, we start to see a little light drifting across road surfaces. And we'll stay on that breezy side heading into midday and into the afternoon. Some gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour, and that does continue into this evening. So today is going to be that kind of day where it's, not necessarily shutting things down, but we want to take it seriously, check the radar, check those road maps before you go. And again, you could do that right on the VNL weather app. And so we've got a few snow showers here this morning as we've been kicking off the day. And so now we're looking at temperatures that are on the rise as that warmer air moves in with the front, and that potential for snow warming us up as well, or warming up with that snow moving in along the front as well. And I can't rule out, a little freezing drizzle in some spots, a couple of models indicating that, but mostly it's just looking like snow showers at this point in time. Let's take a look at the entire valley. Again, you can see that this is a snapshot of 3 p.m. So you can see at that point we've got the warmest air in the southwest where the front's already moved through, and the snow chances are ending there by 3 o'clock. And then right along the Red River, and then points to the east, still looking at snow that is coming down for those areas. Temperatures are not going to be as warm there ahead of the front as well, so we're looking at more teens in that area this afternoon. Okay, so let's talk about how this is going to evolve. So again, we've been watching kind of these broken areas of snow showers developing. So by noon, you can see it's kind of, with this particular model, really coalescing into a line of snow. And then that is moving through eastern North Dakota at that point. It continues to roll eastward across the Red River into northwest Minnesota. And we're already, this is 3 p.m., already winding down into the west, and still experiencing the snow at that point along the Red and Highway 29 corridor, and then points east. And then once we get into the 6 o'clock hour, a lot of the snow showers are more in our eastern viewing area. We're starting to taper off, but I still can't rule out some scattered light snow in places along the Red River as we continue on into tonight. You can see that still going on there at the 8 o'clock hour here, but the bulk of the heavier snow starting to wind down. But still, adding more snow showers to the mix means, we could add a little more accumulation into the mix as well. And eventually that moves on. You can see some winds kicking in out of the northwest behind that round there. So that's round one. Pausing this at 3 a.m., not a lot going on, but once we get into tomorrow morning, here comes the next one. And you can see it's a lot more colorful. So we're going to talk about that coming up in just a moment. But first, let's get into how much snow we can expect for today. So we have areas that could be, not seeing much, maybe a dusting up to an inch of snow. And then as this evolves, we'll see that potential for snow increase. Now, it's not going to be heavy, but still a few inches of snow possible in some spots as we work our way into the day, into tonight, and before this exits, heading into the overnight hours tonight. So again, this could be just enough to cause some issues on the roads for you. Could cause some areas when we factor in a little bit of wind, some areas where visibility drops, in addition to just the snow bringing down our visibility with a little bit of blowing snow. And now let's move on to Tuesday. So we don't have alerts for today's round. We're just watching out for some snow showers. And as we head into the day tomorrow, we're looking out for a winter storm headlines. And I'm going to pull this up full screen for you. And so we're looking at a winter storm watch and a high wind watch. And there's a reason why we have those two different alerts. The winter storm watch is because that's where we expect to see more solid precipitation, frozen precipitation there. And whether it's in the form of snow or maybe a little bit of a mix or maybe some freezing rain happening with this round. And then the high wind watch is, while we will see some precipitation on Tuesday in places like the James River Valley, temperatures are going to warm up rather quickly in that area. We could even climb above freezing. And so it's more about the wind. It becomes even more of a factor in the James River Valley area in the deeper blue here. I'll point that out to you here on our map. This darker blue, that's the high wind watch. And so that's for the afternoon and into the nighttime hours on Tuesday. And then the winter storm watch is for morning on Tuesday into late Tuesday night. And that includes that snow mix and wind. And you can see the cutoff for this is kind of I-94 here. As you go down I-94, it's right on the edge of the current watch. And not that these counties won't see snow or precipitation, but again, this is maybe where we see our warm sector. And so our chances for the heavy snowfall in that area will be lower in that location. So we will move along, and we are talking about maybe needing some umbrellas, so some of us getting some rain here with this next round. So we're going to start things off tomorrow morning. This is 4:30 in the morning, so that's right when we're starting the valley today. We're going to be looking westward at that point at the evolving system as it makes its way toward us. And one thing I want to stress again is that this is a computer simulation. It's not necessarily going to be absolute reality, so timeline could be a little bit off. The rain-snow line is going to be very tough to nail down exactly where that will be, but we know that it's more likely over in the south and west that we'll be more seeing that snow turn to rain. And initially it does start as snow for Jamestown. You can see we're kind of right on that pink area here. That is more of a freezing rain or a mix indicated here in our forecast model. And then of course the green means rain, so Bismarck, Minot, more likely to see rain. I'm going to go back one and then start this over again because I want to show you the snow as it moves through Jamestown. It's going to start as snow, and then you'll see, well, a little bit of snow. You see it changes over pretty quickly in this particular run. So again, it could be a mixed bag for that area. Meanwhile, up in Devil's Lake, it's more snow to start, and we continue on through the morning. So around 7, 8 o'clock, it could be approaching the FM area. Could be sooner than that, later than that. And then moving on into the noon hour, you could see we've got the snow overhead for a lot of places in eastern North Dakota and moving into the Lakes Country part of Minnesota as well. And then there's that rain-snow line up by Devil's Lake, back over to Jamestown. We could be getting some rain. Ellendale getting some rain. And then in between will be that transition zone, which could get kind of sloppy, kind of messy with this system moving through. And you see the deep blues here indicating a heavier snowfall rate going on compared to what we'll see today. So by the time we get into the 4 o'clock, that snow kind of shifts up toward Bemidji and more parts of northwest Minnesota, still impacting areas in northeastern North Dakota, but there may be a big break in the action in southeastern North Dakota at that point. So your experience may vary quite a bit from one county to the next as the system moves through, and it may vary from period to period throughout the day, whether it's the morning, afternoon, and evening, because you can see that low starts to swing back through, and we see that colder air start punching in the wake of it, and so we see that transition back over to snow happen. And there's that rain-snow line right over Fargo-Moorhead. So that could be, again, pretty messy. This is 7 p.m. Tomorrow, could be seeing that same situation over toward Fergus Falls. Meanwhile, it's more all snow north and east of there, and where that is, north and east of the rain-snow line. That's where we're going to be getting our greatest accumulations. And then by 11 o'clock Tuesday night, it's more isolated to scattered areas of snow still lingering that may carry on into the very early morning hours of Wednesday before it completely tapers off. So that's kind of the timeline that we're looking at here for snow. Let's talk about amounts. And again, this is tough when we've got, such a warm system that is really bringing in some warm air, and one that has that rain-snow line transition going on with it. But the bottom line is our models are indicating that, somewhere north and east, so Grand Forks, back over into Lakes Country, Minnesota, this is where we're most likely to see that 6-inch range. And beyond that, more, dropping off from there into the few inch range to not much at all, or maybe you get the snow and then it melts very quickly because it rains, or we see ice in the mix too. And so I just wanted to show you here. So this is our snow. I just want to overlay where that ice is, the greatest potential for a coating of ice is. And again, that's going to be Highway 281, Devil's Lake through Jamestown, and parts of southeastern North Dakota, right toward that Sisseton area, west central Minnesota. And there may be a little bit of a shift in that going on heading into Tuesday. So even, we know this, even a thin coating can cause some problems there. So this kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at as we head into Tuesday. A little more substantial snow, and the potential's there for ice. And this is just focusing in on that ice potential now. Most places under 1/10 of an inch of accumulation, though there's a little pocket here down where the tri-state meets up, where we're looking at a little over 1/10 of an inch potential again. And again, this could shift, so just want to stress that. So wind will be the next factor. Well, it will happen at the same time as these other issues are happening, but we're breaking this up for you to focus on each element here. I do want to stress that today, we're watching out for some winds gusting. These numbers are your wind gusts into the 20s to near 30 miles per hour through the day. That starts to come down as we head into late tonight, though you can see that 30 gust there around 9 p.m. in Valley City. And then eventually that tapers off. We get a little break into tomorrow morning. And then this is 9 a.m., starting to see that wind pick back up with the snow moving in and the rain moving in. And it gets stronger as the day goes on. It may take a while, and for some, it may not be as bad as others, because we're looking at the heart of this system where we see that wind following behind that center of that low. So that's going to be more in those areas under that high wind warning, or high wind watch, excuse me. Everything is still a watch right now as of this update. But you can see for Jamestown, back to Valley City, Lisbon, and then Ellendale, we've got gust 40s to low 50s. And this is about 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. So by that time, we've got some pretty strong wind gusts in southeastern North Dakota. Meanwhile, up toward Lake of the Woods, teens, 20s there. So again, it depends on the track of the system. But right now, it looks like our strongest winds will be in southeastern North Dakota with this event for us here in the valley. And if we have any snow going on at that point in time, visibility will drop quite a bit in that instance where we have snow that's falling and we have that kind of wind going on. So Fargo, maybe more 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts, and then again, stronger wind gusts the farther south and east or west you go. In this particular scenario. This is 5 a.m. on Wednesday, so still blustery, still dealing with areas where we do have the snow, we've got some blowing snow going on. So those are the two big events. We have more on the way, so I thought I'd just kind of talk about the cumulative snowfall potential from today's round, tomorrow's round, and then, we talked about Thursday and Friday as well. So just kind of zipping through this here, you can see over the next 5 days, including today, so we end this at 10 o'clock Friday night. There is the potential that we could see a lot of areas that get in at 6+ range. Of course, there's going to be some melting in those areas that warm up in the southwest. And just in general, it's not going to necessarily play out exactly like this. But certainly over the course of several rounds, there is that possibility of picking up a significant amount of snow through the next several days. So let's take a look at temperatures. Let's take a look at our 11-day planner here. Today, tomorrow, we're warming up. Unfortunately, it comes with that chance for rain and snow and a mix and wind as well. It comes with these storm systems. This time of year, we don't get those gentle warm-ups like we do other times. If we're warming up, it's not because the sun's warming us up. It's because something has shifted in our weather pattern. And usually when you've got a shift happening in your weather pattern, something's got to give, and you'll see, you know, a more stormy pattern going on. And that's what we're seeing here the next couple of days at least. So we really warm up Tuesday. You can see we're forecasting a high of 32, right at that freezing melting point on Tuesday. So again, Fargo's right on the edge of the potential for snow or a mix, or even maybe seeing some raindrops. And then we're looking at a much colder air mass pushing in behind this. We're going to be back down into the single digits on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, another chance for some snow showers Thursday night and heading into overnight on Friday. And check out these temperatures. We're going to be chilly. We're looking at some highs in the single digits. We may even stay below zero in a lot of spots Friday and heading into Saturday. So reinforcing shot of cold air. And really into next week, we warm a little, but it's still going to be running below average for us in our forecast as we continue into the second half of December. So this month, turning out to be a snowy one, turning out to be a cold one, and it is definitely going to be active the next couple of days that we're going to be watching out for these systems moving through. That'll be bringing about the potential for some heavy snow, or excuse me, snow, and you know, some might get heavier snow tomorrow, and then the possibility for a mix, the possibility for some icing as well in some of these areas. So someone asked if it's going to be cold. Yes, you must have asked me that before I got to that point. We're looking at milder temperatures the next couple of days, and then again, you can see that we're looking at a much colder pattern here setting up by the time we get into Wednesday and beyond. So I guess enjoy the warm up, but it comes with wind, it comes with snow, it comes with some messy conditions here in the valley. So that's the only question I'm seeing right now. I'm going to check one more spot, make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions. Of course, we're going to be watching this all day and into the day tomorrow too. And, you know, if you had any questions, you can always ask later today, as we'll have another live update from our afternoon crew. And we'll continue to update on Valley News Live, on our newscasts, on all of our platforms here with this next round of wintry weather coming our way. And don't overlook today, too. I know tomorrow's kind of the bigger day, but that's why we have a first alert weather day for today, too, is because there are going to be some impacts. We are going to get a couple of inches of snow in some areas, and looking at a little bit of wind there, too, that could impact your drive for this afternoon and heading into tonight as this snow, this round of snow moves in before the stronger system moves in on Tuesday. So we'll leave you there. Again, you can always check our website for the latest conditions. You can check our VNL weather app. It is a great tool to use to stay up to date on the latest on what's going on with our weather. And we'll be back here in a few hours to bring you an update with our afternoon crew on how things are looking with these couple of systems. Have a great Monday and have a great week ahead.